This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Dave Meltzer would write that the shows we talked about earlier over in Dubai were successful financially for Titan, but the crowds were poor all 4 nights. And the Hollywood Reporter has an ad that the WWF is looking for a director of media relations. And there's also some speculation that NBC might be looking to purchase the USA Network. And there's some fear that maybe NBC might dump a bunch of USA's programming. Was that ever something that was on you guys' radar that, hey, what if USA was sold?
Every time that those rumors would come up, you know, you're always wondering what level of truth. And there was always, you know, some level of interest in people, you know, talking about, but more times than not, it was pretty much just rumor and innuendo and people talking about, oh my God, so-and-so is going to sell. And sometimes, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. And other times it's just, you know, people saying shit. You know, the entertainment industry has its share of, you know, gossip mongers and people that just, you know, gossip and deal in rumor and innuendo, no different than we do.
I want to mention, the show that we're covering here, In Your House It's Time, happened on December 15th. And this is from Bret Hart's book. He wrote, in West Palm Beach, the night of December 14th, 1996, I slid under the sheets hurting so badly. I had no choice but to wash down a couple of pain pills, plug in my heating pad, and smear icy hot over my knees and back. I was supposed to wrestle Sid in our title bout the next day at In Your House. Wrestling with Jim in the Hart Foundation in the early days, I used to feel like the zippy Porsche to Jim's armored tank. Now I felt like an old race car with my dings hidden before every match under a coat of fresh paint. That's a nice illustration. Bret knew how to coin a phrase here. Were you starting to think that maybe Bret had lost a step or he was just getting older, or did you still think, man, he's our big star?
You know, at that time, I've always been a huge fan of Bret and Bret's work. But I think every time that Bret would take a longer time away, it was harder for him to come back. And I think that's true with anybody in any field, no matter what it is. If you take time away and, you know, you're gone for a while, it takes a while to get back into the swing of things. If you're an athlete and you come back, you're not what you were when you left. You're just not. Nobody's going to beat Father Time.
Right. He's undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Meltzer would write on Monday nights, the WWF had added that to their list of slander perpetrated by WCW and said that USA never told them they were considering moving Raw to midnight. So what do you think about this? When the WCW hotline plants some rumor and innuendo about your company, is that fair game, or is that something that you guys are going to get up and
again? It was just lies and it's lies and shit that, you know, people would make up. Again, they're trying to sell their hotline shit and making up lies. No different than Wade Keller and whoever else, other names that you mentioned, you know, are making up summations of things based on what they think, not actual fact.
Dave would also report that Harlem Heat is said to be negotiating with the WWF. Do you remember in 1996, anybody ever having a discussion with Booker or Stevie?
No.
I never even heard that.
Now, but when Sid came up, Sid was a huge fan of Harlem Heat. And Sid would constantly be plugging Harlem Heat. But I don't think that we, at least to my knowledge, I don't know that we ever had any negotiations with Harlem Heat at any time.
Let's talk about some house shows. There's some reports in the Observer that White Plains on November 20th drew 2,075 fans for just $32,000. The next day in Quebec, you drew 1,732. That's right. 1,732 fans for only 28 grand. On the 22nd, you're in Montreal, and this is a lot better. 6,018 fans for $121,000 on those really modest gates, you know, the first handful. And in New York, of all places,
White Plains is only like a 2,500 seat arena.
But the point is, how are you guys even breaking even or making money after you're paying everybody, all the expenses, the rent, all that jazz, when you're just getting $28,000 at the turnstile?
Well, that would have been a big gate back in the day. And again, when you're running those markets, you know what that is, and it's to be able to run and give the guys work.
Yeah, you're giving reps
the
and your service.
Not do anything and not have any income. But White Plains was a small building, but it was close to New York, and it was something that we would run from time to time. It was almost like it was kind of like a Poughkeepsie. Smaller arena, but nice and tight, and it was a good arena to work. I'll tell you that.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.